Welcome back to Spotlight. I'm here with Miss Anguilla, Miss Antigua, Miss BVI, Miss Cuba, Miss Curacao, and Miss Dominica. See, I remembered. And I'm having a good time already, and I just started. I want to start with you, Miss Anguilla. You are involved in, you have a lot of extracurricular activities. You know, I mean, it's just amazing. And so I'm thinking that you're trying to be, plus with all of that, you're working part-time.
Yes.
And I think you're either trying to be a politician or you just don't sleep. So, I mean, how is it that you involved in so many activities?
Well, I've always been a very outgoing person, and I think that it's very important to be well-rounded. So I recently, actually last week, completed my undergraduate degree in psychology, and I feel that that is a heavy focus on academics, so I want to explore more so that I can be able to learn more from besides academics, because it's very important to be well-rounded. All the extracurricular activities that I am involved in and have been involved in throughout the years have taught me something unique, and I think without them I would not be the person that I am today.
Okay, and now you studying clinical psychology?
I'm studying psychology right now.
Okay, and you want to get a PhD?
Yes.
So you're going to be a teacher? Or
no, I want to become
why is that? Why you need a PhD?
Because I want to become a clinical psychologist. Currently, I will just have a bachelor degree in psychology. With my PhD in clinical psychology, I will be able to do more on the island. I would be able to prescribe medication. I will be able to work closer with the judicial system in terms of being able to recommend or to analyze persons who have committed crimes or who they believe have committed crimes. And it just gives me a wider opportunity to do more in the community, because, you know, as Caribbean people, we are still, the idea of visiting a psychologist is still quite taboo. So I need to be able to explore my options so I can also live sustainably.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. You say your secret dream is to be fluent in Spanish.
Yes.
And develop your dance skills to a professional level. And I want to know how you reconcile a PhD in psychology with learning Spanish and being a professional dancer.
Dancing has always been a passion of mine. I have been dancing since I was a toddler, basically. And I believe that I have the talent, so I just want to further develop it. In terms of my interest in Spanish, it has been my favorite language. I even prefer Spanish to English. And
so you can speak Spanish?
A little bit. I'm still trying to explore more. There's been a growing population of Hispanics in Anguilla, and so I believe that it'll also help me towards my career. So it's tied in a way.
Okay, and you're following your mother's footsteps?
I'm following in my mother's footsteps. She's the first clinical psychologist in Anguilla.
And was she also a beauty queen?
She was a contestant in the first Miss Anguilla pageant that was interrupted by the Anguilla Revolution.
Anguilla had a revolution?
Yes, where we broke apart from St. Kitts and Nevis.
Okay.
A bloodless revolution. We're peaceful people.
that was interesting.
We're peaceful people.
What you hoping that your reign would be like if you win?
Oh, well, it's a great honor and a privilege to be Miss Caribbean World. I would be extremely elated to hold this title. I feel that it would help me to further reach out to youth in the Caribbean so that I can promote my platform, which is literacy, because the Caribbean has a higher illiteracy rate than we believe, and it is very important to be literate in all aspects of life.
Okay, so, cool. Okay. Interesting. Miss Antigua Barbuda.
Good night.
Yeah. You look like the kind of quiet one in the bunch.
Yeah.
Are you shy?
Kind of, but I'm thinking that this will bring me onto my show, hopefully.
So that's why you're in the pageant, to boost yourself.
Boost my confidence.
This is the most famous statement: boost your self-esteem, give you confidence. That's your statement. That's your statement. Okay. You attend church regularly?
Yes.
and you do dance. What kind of dance do you get involved with?
Well, I prefer liturgical dancing. I used to dance with the Baron Stout School of Dance, but she migrated and I was busy with studying at the time, so that kind of went down the drain. But I'm thinking to start back again.
Okay. Now, you as a business, you want to open up a spa.
Why?
Yeah, why a spa? Yeah.
Well, in Antigua and Barbuda, there aren't a lot of varieties of places that you can go to get that sort of treatment. Sometimes you just want to go somewhere that you can relax for a day, and not have to worry about all of the stuff that you have to go through on a daily basis. So I think that for me, having a monopoly in that area would be something that I can use for my success.
Okay. What do you think that you're best at? What's your best talent? If you were to say I'm a talented, what would that be?
I would say I'm talented in many ways. But if I was to choose one, I would say that my passion is mostly modeling.
Okay.
And so, yes, that's what I would say I'm more passionate about.
Would you like to sing too?
Yes, that's what I'll be doing for my talent.
Okay.
So we have to come out on the 5th.
Usually contestants don't divulge what their talent is.
I feel confident in myself with what I'm going to do, so they can know. Yeah.
Doesn't matter to you.
Yeah.
You're gonna bring it. You're gonna bring the song. Yeah. But you're not telling us what the song is. You say your mother or your grandmother adopted 50 children?
Yes.
How did that happen?
She started at a young age where she was a teacher from her teens, and she had 6 kids on her own, but eventually she started taking in kids that were homeless, kids that were motherless, that their parents couldn't afford to treat them the way that they deserve to be treated, and so she took them in as her own, basically.
So how did you deal with that?
Well, I didn't really have to deal with it per se, because at that time I wasn't born as yet.
Oh, okay.
But there's still some of them that are living with her now that I consider them like my family, myself. That's how we grew up together. Like cousins, sister, that kind of relationship.
Because I was thinking that, it was current and you had to go see your grandmother and she had all these children around.
No, she still have a few with her at this time, like about 5 or so living with her. But that's about it for now.
What is becoming Miss Caribbean World mean to you?
Miss Caribbean World, to me, that is me breaking out of my shell, as I said previously. I think I have a lot of talent, and I think that this would allow me to showcase that talent and, to promote myself better.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you very much, Miss
Janor Smith, Miss Antigua and Barbuda.
Yeah, my last name is Smith. You might be my cousin.
Somewhere.
Yeah. Thank you, Miss BBI.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. It must be in the area, because you like Miss Anguilla. Y'all got this long list of activities. So, and I know Anguilla's right down the street. So it must be some kind of virus. Y'all get to do it service, But what does this mean to you, being a Caribbean, a participant in the Miss Caribbean World?
It's a great way for me to represent the British Virgin Islands and have an opportunity to represent the entire region, the Caribbean region. If you look at the demographic of people living in the British Virgin Islands, we have so many people from Antigua, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, and they come and make this their home, and so it's an opportunity for me to represent them as well. So I look forward to competing. Great.
Now, you said that you like people who are honest.
Yes.
But have the courage to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Do you consider that you have the courage to be honest? You know what honesty means?
I think so. Every day I try to be as honest as possible. I think it's so easy to lie, really and truly, and it takes the courage not to lie. So I'm an honest person. Do you think so?
Well, I mean, I want to know if you could tell me, well, you know, Cromwell, you know, you're really not doing a good job, you know.
I would tell you. I really would tell you, but you're doing an excellent job.
I need to just get off the air and just hang this stuff up, you know.
You're doing an excellent job, and all these ladies are doing an excellent job here tonight.
So it's not because you try to make an impression.
I'm not trying to sugarcoat it. This is the way I really feel, and you know.
And that's just one of your principles.
Oh yes.
All right. Cool. Now you studying, and I can't pronounce the word, anesthesiology.
Anesthesiology. Actually, I am on leave from Xavier University when I won the title of Miss British Virgin Islands. I took the year off to fulfill my duties as Miss BVI. I would have been in my last year at Xavier, and I would be entering medical school this fall. It was a big decision, but I do not regret it. I have so much experience and memories now as Miss British Virgin Islands, so I will be returning in August back to my studies.
Okay, yes, that's right. This is August. You have to give up the crown, right?
Yes.
So you feel like going back to school after all the publicity and all the subjects and everybody bowing down to you and all the ribbons that you've been
bowing down. I think it's time. You know, I've enjoyed myself, and it's time for me to go back to school and to finish my degree. I will be sad when I give up my crown, but it's time for me.
Why you want to become an anesthesiologist? Why that profession?
I think anesthesia is actually the most important aspect of surgery. When you look at it, no one wants to go through any operation or surgical procedure without anesthesia. I know I don't want to. Do any of you want to? No, exactly. So it's very important, and that's what I want to be a part of. I've done many internships across the U.S. and in the Caribbean, and I fell in love with it, and I'm sticking to it. It's going to be a lot of hard work to get the degree, but I'm willing to do it.
Okay, your secret dream is medicine is ever changing and ever growing. My hope is to obtain a career in anesthesiology, contribute to the field, and become a professor of medicine.
Yes.
Right? And shape the minds of future doctors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In what way you think you could do it? In what way do you think the minds of future doctors needs to be shaped?
You know, I'll tell you this. When I've done my internships, the doctors are the ones teaching you. They're the ones bringing you in and letting you see what they're doing. And even when you go to the doctor and getting a checkup, you're asking questions and they're telling you about what's happening. So I feel that doctors are teachers in their own right. That's the way I want to contribute after I become an anesthesiologist. I want to shape the minds. You know, hopefully I can motivate someone to become an anesthesiologist or just see medicine as a feasible way of life.
Okay. You talk about the Caribbean and, you know, representing all Caribbean people and just being a Caribbean person.
Yes.
What's your view on Caribbean unity?
Caribbean unity?
Caribbean unity.
Well, we're one people. That's how I look at it. Even though we live on different islands, we're one people. I'll tell you about my background. My family's from here in Tortola. I have relations in St. Kitts. My stepfather is from St. Lucia, and all of this has made me the person that I am. So many different influences, cultures, and languages. And so that's what being a Caribbean person is. It's understanding that it's a variety of things that make us who we are, and respecting that.
Very cool. Thank you, Ms. BVI.
Thank you.
Yes, Ms. Cuba.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
Good. You did a great job with your English.
Wow, this is a challenge for me. Yes, completely. I'm doing my best all the time trying to improve my English, but it's still kind of hard because I'm coming from a country where it's totally Spanish.
Spanish all the time.
Yes.
You, for your extracurricular activities, you talked about working with charitable institutions, you know, institutions that help people who have special needs and so on. Yeah. What is your favorite work to do in a charity? What you like? You take care of children. You help the elderly. What is it that you like to do when you talk about charity?
I love children's. I love working with them. I already won Miss Cuban American. I've been working with my organization in different charities opportunities, and we are working together with a known organization. We go to the schools. We try to talk with children about the importance to do good things, because anything that you do good from your heart is going to return to you in the same way. So that's very important for me. That's one of the most important activities that I've been doing since I'm a queen, since I'm a miss in this case. And of course, with this organization, with the name is Hermanas de la Caridad, we have been doing a lot of things, collecting food as well, sending to Cuba in latas. How do I say latas? Cans.
Okay.
Yes, we collect as much as we can, and we send big amounts of it, and that's an amazing thing. That's fill me of all good energy.
Okay.
Yes,
and
definitely.
you live in Cuba?
I live in Miami.
Oh, you live in Miami?
Yes, I live in Miami since 4 years. 4 years ago.
So how you get to represent Cuba in Miami?
Because the organization is being established 26 years ago, and it's specifically for Cuban women, so we can conserve our traditions. And in that way, of course, I'm Cuban. I felt Cuba from everything. I grew up, I born and raised over there. I just been outside for 4 years, and I've been still going forward, and that's the thing.
Okay.
Represent Cuba, represent the Cuban woman.
Now, there's a lot of, and I have to get a little political, but there's a lot of talk in the media with President Obama about the relationship between the United States and Cuba. How you feel about that relationship? What America has done to Cuba over the years?
Well, I'm not a political person. Even it's a kind of hard for me to explain myself in political in English. But I'm very glad that now we are able to go Cuba. Before Obama, in this case, because we are talking that point, we could go once in 3 years, and I have all my family over there. So for me, I'm so glad and so grateful that things are happening, and I think that at the moment that continue, it's gonna be so much better for all the Cuban people that really need chance to try and be different. I don't know.
Okay. That's good.
Yes.
Yeah, that would do it. You want to be a professional actress?
I studied acting.
You do acting now?
Yes. I go to school, not as a professional. That's what I say, that I would love being a professional in that business, because the most important thing is do what you really like and live. I mean, like you can do you can work in what you really like. I graduate as informatica, which is computer technician, and I'm not that good in that.
So you prefer acting?
Yes, and then I just start going to school. I've been doing different things, and I really enjoy it. And of course, that's what I would love doing.
Why you want to open up a nursing home?
Oh my gosh, because for me, it's so sad seeing like old people living by themselves when they don't take care of. And it's a very sad point in my heart, because I immigrated to the United States when my grandfather was still living, and he passed out when I was out. And then definitely that touched my heart. And of course, helping grown people where
the elderly.
Yeah, when they don't, I mean, when they're alone by themselves, when sometimes the families have a lot of things to do and they don't take care of them properly, that would be for me, if I will have the opportunity, that would be for me an amazing thing that I could do.
You said you like, you're part of the Caribbean, you're proud of your Caribbean history.
Yes, I'm from Cuba,
yes.
The biggest island of the Caribbean.
What is the most important part? What about Caribbean history is most important to you? What you like best about Caribbean history? What is it you're proud of in the Caribbean history?
Well, to be honest, we all were discovered by one person. in this case, Cristobal Colon. And I think that even when we are from different raíces, we are coming all from different background, we were all like the same. We have the same weather, we have the same beaches, we have we are all, when I said that we are all Caribbean, it's like we feel more of the time the same. So I'm very proud to be a Caribbean representative.
All right, great. Well, thank you very much, Ms. Cuba.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yes, Ms. Curacao.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
You're good. You like to dance?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. What kind of dance did you like?
I dance practically everything. Since Curacao is very diverse, you learn to dance actually everything. So it's bachata, I can do ballet. I used to take ballet classes. I did jazz, I did tap, I like salsa, I like merengue. I dance our own cultural songs, that's seu, I do tambu, I do tumba. So anything you play, soca, calypso, doesn't matter. I just love to move. So
and you're part of a dance group. Is dance your best talent?
Well, I have a lot of talents, but the one that I practice the most is dancing.
That's what I'm going to practice.
Yeah.
So you're not going to tell us what your talent is going to be?
No.
And you like movies. What kind of movies you like to watch?
I love action movies, especially movies like X-Men, Avatar, Iron Man, The Avengers. Oops, sorry. So everything, that's my back. It's okay. So everything that has to do with the old cartoons that they're bringing to life in movies, because I find that cartoons back in the day were educational. The cartoons that we have now,
a little rough.
Yes, not rough, but it's kind of, it's silly. Like you have somebody poking out the nose and making a boat with it. It's like, what is my child going to learn from that? So I'm actually thinking on just buying all the old cartoons and let my kids look at that.
Okay. You're currently working on bringing a product to the market. What kind of product is that?
It's a game that I invented.
A game?
Yes.
Okay.
2 years ago for my birthday, I invented a game, and I tried it out with my friends on my birthday, and they had a blast. So my dad told me, why don't you use it as a product? Introduce it.
It's a computer game?
No, it's a live game. So it's a board game, but you play it with your body. So you yourself are the pawn. So they had a blast. You know, games get intense, so everybody's like, no, I'm winning, no, you're winning. So my dad told me it's you can use it as team building because it brings groups together. So that's what I'm working on now.
Your goal is to go on a world tour with Janet Jackson as a dancer.
Yeah, I wish. From small, I always loved the Jacksons. That's through my mom. But I always found Janet Jackson as a female entertainer. She always brought it to the stage, and she's very on point with her movement. So I always found that very great. So for me, like when you see Beyonce and Rihanna and all the female artists now, I think when it comes to shows, Janet started it.
Okay. And you want to meet Nelson Mandela?
Yes, I would love to meet him.
And tell him what?
I would like to ask him how did he do to not prepare himself, but to be selfless as he was, instead of, because most of the time when something injustice is done to you, you have the tendency to react back in the same way that the person did to you. And he was great enough of a man to, instead of retaliating, he decided to pull back and show the people that united, you move forward faster. That's why I love to say a lot of times, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with others.
What are you saying? That's great. Well, thank you very much, Ms. Curacao.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Ms. Dominica, nature lover.
Yes.
All Dominicans are nature lovers?
Well, I would say most of them are, yes.
I mean, every time you speak to somebody from Dominica, what you like to do in I love nature, you know. I love to go to the river. It's like, you know.
Dominica is blessed, I must say, and so all Dominicans would love and enjoy their nature. I mean, we have 365 rivers, one for every day of the year. I mean, if you go to Dominica and you see a national, you would say, what's to do for fun?
Go to the river.
You would say, let's go to the river. And we could probably cook something near the river. Let's just have fun. Let's hike a mountain. Let's look at the different sites that we have, and it's very enjoyable.
So go to the river. I'm trying to name all the things you do to enjoy nature. Go to the river, go hiking.
Yes, you go hiking. We have lots of segments. We have the Cuba National Trail, so you could hike one or two segments of that. It will be great fun.
Okay. And you want to go to UWI in Barbados to study law. What kind of law?
More focused on tort or criminal law.
Tort. Okay, so if I commit a crime, then you could represent me.
Well, most definitely, yes.
Any particular reason why?
I would say I love justice, and sometimes you see people who are not properly represented or do not have representation at all, and I feel for them. I want to become someone who can represent them, and that they will be proud of that they can be represented, and that they can feel that they did not do anything wrong, yet they have bad representation and they probably lose the case. I want to be someone who can do it honestly and ensure that justice is brought.
So if you come up with a client that is guilty, what you gonna do? You gonna
Well, some people, like in movies, you would say lawyers are liars. But I want to be someone who can ensure that justice is done, not just for the person, but for the country. You need to see how it can benefit the country, because sometimes if you represent criminals on a daily basis, and let's say you help them win their case, it does not solve the crime in Dominica, or it does not solve the crime in whatever island that you are. So I want to ensure that justice is done for my country.
Okay. What would you say to President Obama if you were to meet him? He's the person that you would like to meet.
I would love to have a chat with him and to speak about how he felt becoming the first black president. I mean, it's a great achievement, and I would love to be in a position, well, not to be the first black president, but to be someone of high statute. I want to see how it's going with him ruling the Americas, and just to speak with him to see how he can motivate me, because he's someone I look up to, that he can speak to people, letting them know that they can do everything. Anything is possible for them, because he can do it, so we can do it. And his motto is, yes, we can. So I believe that.
Do you ever think of him as in a relationship between USA and the Caribbean?
Well, of course, at some point in time, we should have relations with America, and he would be someone who can integrate the Caribbean more as providing unity or gaining unity for the world.
Okay, what would you do with your Miss Caribbean World Crown?
With my Miss Caribbean World Crown, I now have the Miss Dominica title, and having the Miss Caribbean World title would be really fantastic. I believe that I would visit the Caribbean countries. I mean, I could partner with the organization in Dominica, speak with my Prime Minister, and ensure that I can do something for the Caribbean. Like, let's say we have some meetings for the Caribbean delegates, Caribbean leaders. I can come along. I mean, I could provide input. I could listen in to look at the issues in the Caribbean, to see what we can do to better integrate our Caribbean islands. And I believe it'll be something great for me.
Well, thank you very much, Ms. Dominica.
You're welcome.
Yes, there you have it, 6 of the 17 lovely contestants. We're going to take a break for a word from our sponsors. We're going to come back with the rest right after this. Keep it glued right here to Spotlight. We'll be right back.
Spotlight is brought to you by the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, Tortola Concrete Limited, Gilbert's Painting Contractors, and CCT Global Communications.